Welcome to today's video. It's about time we fix the Haybine. Last time you have seen this in operation, it broke down. And that's what we're gonna be fixing today, is getting the new cutter bar in there. We have it, we have everything we hopefully should need to do it. The only thing that kind of concerns me, there's three things that needs to take place here. Obviously the cutter bar. The second thing is I think I'm gonna try and throw a weld on this big crack right here that goes down to strengthen that up. I'm not sure how that happened or why that happened. I never noticed it before. It doesn't look super fresh. And the third thing is right here. This bolt snapped. So kind of holding this all together, if that comes loose, that could be a problem. Here is the new cutter bar. I got the whole assembly, brand new knives, everything. So this thing can slide right in. We're not swapping knives or anything. That would have potentially been cheaper, but not that much. So it just paid off to just get everything. And then we have all new of the entire length of the bar. I got this a couple weeks ago. I just haven't put it together yet, obviously. Main reason for that is we just haven't really been in the, I don't want to say the weather wasn't good for hay cutting, because it has been, but it's been more or less, since it was so hot and so dry, the grass in the hay fields just didn't grow. The weeds, of course, did. So we're actually to the point now where a lot of the fields are to the point where they could be cut. And this is probably going to be our last cutting of the year. So we're only going to get 2 this year compared to last year where we got 3 and potentially could have got 4. So every year's different. We're kind of seeing that this year, just the grass didn't grow. So, and we don't know if the baler's going to work, is probably not, but I have some ideas on what we're going to try and tweak with that. But anyway, that's totally different subject, different day. So we'll get this unboxed and we should be able to just slide that thing in, bolt the cover fast, bolt everything in, and we're done. This should be the easiest portion of the entire Haybine fix or repair. Once I do that, I'll take it, we'll get it welded, and then I gotta try and figure something out for that bolt. That is pretty. And sharp. Not the cheapest thing in the world. I'm just hoping once we throw this in there, I think it bent one of the rock guards, but I don't know that that's a huge deal. So hopefully once we throw this in there, I'm gonna turn on the PTO shaft slow, just to get everything to roll really slow, make sure nothing is going crazy, and then we'll try and speed it up and just hopefully make sure everything is good with everything down underneath. Well, I thought this was gonna be easy. The bolt head, or the nut, is catching the guard up here. It won't even push through. You've got to be kidding me. Yeah, there's some big differences with this thing. Here's the old one. This one is actually the other way. Has the heads on the other side. And this actually has, some of these are flip-flopped. A lot of it goes every other, they're alternated. So the serration is where these are all the same. I don't know how much that matters, but then this arm here is also different. This runs, on the new one, runs the whole length out here, whereas this one was underneath. So I'm a little confused right now.
Deere's 35G mini excavator is just what you need on the worksite. It's been upgraded with a comprehensive 5-year, 2,000-hour warranty.
Well, I have a call into my local Deere dealer, which they close at 5 and it's 4:58, so I'm not going to hear back from them today anymore. My only guess is I am going to have to take every single one of these bolts and flip them and run them down from the top and put the nut on the bottom, because that's how this one was. This whole bar here, I have no idea if that's gonna work or not, or if I'm gonna have to flip that around too. This is really not what I was hoping to have to do. If I'd have known that, I probably would have just bought the 2 pieces I needed and swapped knives. I was just hoping this was gonna be quick and easy and slide the new one in and be done, but clearly not. The dealer just called me back. This is the only part number that comes up for this. So what I think I'm just gonna try and do, because they close now. They're in tomorrow, tomorrow's Saturday, but I think I'm just gonna try and swap all these bolts, because that's how this one is. Now this is kind of strange. This is all over serrated and this is under over, so this like kind of is a variant the whole way across. But I think that's what I need to do, is just change. It's gonna suck, but we'll flip every single one of these bolts, and I'm gonna do like the first 2, 3, and we'll try slide it in and see what it looks like. But I'm sure that's gonna take care of it. Now the other thing is down at the end there, that I don't know about. We'll have to see when we get that far. I swapped the first one. I just want to try it and see, make sure something's not bent or that I'm missing something. I don't think I am, but what a pain in the butt that's gonna be. These are like studs. They're not just bolted fast. They have studs that actually go through and then lock in. So this is gonna suck to do this many. Of course, it slid through. The weird part is, I managed to get the second one past there, right here. So maybe it's okay. But I don't know why the first one wasn't going through. So I don't know if we're gonna have problems the whole way out through with this spot. Now obviously we didn't go down through the rest of them, but that's a little weird. And this is tight, which means this is really gonna rub in there. I don't know. Maybe once it's up in here, I'm not sure. I'll try and push more through and see what it looks like, I guess. Very slowly, I am getting there. All the way down to here. Got to do the rest. That bar might be able to stay where it's at, but I'm sure I'm gonna have to flip those bolts. This really sucks. I should not have to do this. And these are like splined. I already ruined one of them, as you can see, but so I gotta hit them really hard to get them to come out. And I already messed up a nut too, so I'll have to go to the hardware store and replace one of those, which again, I shouldn't have to do any of this. But I think it'll go in and it'll be fine once we get all this taken care of. I will say there's no chance I'm getting this all done tonight, like I was hoping. They do want rain tomorrow, but it's supposed to be stopping later in the afternoon. So then we can resume this and hopefully get it all fixed and done, and that it works. And then we'll be good to cut hay on Monday. That's the plan. What a chore that was. I do have to go and pick up another bolt and a nut for right there because of the one that's stripped out. Otherwise, I did get all of them switched. I left these because they have these flipped upside down, and like the taper portion of the nut is actually, it's like countersunk in here. So I left that how it was. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. So before I go and get a screw for that, I need to try and fix and get this taken out right here. This bolt that broke. That wasn't too bad getting that out. Definitely needs a new one. Unfortunately, I struck out with the sickle section bolt. Tractor Supply has them, but you buy them in a pack of 50 or 90, and I only need one. So unfortunately, I'm gonna just have to take one from the old section and throw it in probably, because here I probably could have rethreaded that, but the nut is just completely done for. And I don't even know what size they are. I tried sticking it in the little thread tap thing at the store and nothing really went in there, so I have no idea. I might try and see, maybe I can rethread these. I'll try that first. If that works, great. If not, I'm gonna rob one from the other section. It's it is what it is. And then I ended up finding a new bolt for that bracket. So if I put that in, that works. We'll get the sickle section fixed, completely thrown in, put back together. And then all I have to do is weld. And then we hopefully should be ready to cut if all works out. Could have been a little bit longer, but it is in there. This controls your height. Some of you probably already know that. So yeah, we want to keep that with a bolt in it and not have that come out, because that would be disastrous. I did manage to get one of the old ones in. What a pain in the butt. You know, I should not have to do this with a brand new thing. At this point, after fighting with that, I think we're finally ready to shove this sickle through here and hope that we don't have any more problems from here on out. We got that bolt tightened in the back, so we should be good there. Get this ran in, tightened, the shield back up, and then we can take this and get it welded, and then we should be good to go and ready to cut. And then we got to grease it. We'll grease it too. There it goes. I am very irritated. What I ended up having to do, there's no going back now. I had to cut this twice, which is the actual knife back or knife arm, whatever it's called, that connects to the whole arm or bar. But there's two things I had to do. I had to cut this because it was hitting. That should be on the bottom because there's more clearance on the bottom than the top. Same thing with the reason of the bolts and the nuts being on the top. It doesn't make any sense. Everything was hitting. I don't know how well you can see, but it was hitting those guards. The other thing that I have to do is these are too long, so they're also gonna hit. Even before I cut that off, they were too long, so I gotta trim all those. It's literally been endless. It's a disaster. This has been a disaster. This is a waste of money. Buying this whole thing new, I should have just looked for a parts machine and did it that way. And after what I thought was going to be a very simple and easy project, turned into the worst part. Wow. Anyway, there is new knife blade, new cutter bar installed. We had to make plenty of modifications, that's for sure. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now I'm going to turn it over by hand before I even begin to think about firing the tractor up and doing this. Here's what I'm talking about with why I had to cut this off. This one obviously is taller, and then you have these. This is another reason why you can see hardly any clearance there. That's why I had to flip all the bolts. But I had to cut that off because it was hitting on that left edge there. And then we had to trim all the long bolts underneath as well because they were hitting on the bottom. So it is as far traveling this way as it's gonna go. It seemed to move pretty easy. I'm gonna turn it over another time by hand just to make sure. Here you can get a good look at the bar now that the fingers are out of the way. Nice, new, pretty, even though I couldn't just slide it in. It turns really easy, so I'm kind of thinking that we're gonna be all right. So I guess we'll fire the tractor up. I'm gonna run it at a very slow RPM to begin with, and then we'll speed it up from there, and hopefully nothing flies apart. Yeah, you can definitely see like some of the guards I think are a little bit bent. You can see where it's wearing the top of the knives. But I think once everything seats in there, it'll be all right. Like there, you can see, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's kind of a little bit of some rubbing going on there. It's not really an issue that, you know, they're catching, but something to watch for. I think we're gonna be all right. So I will finish putting the rest of this stuff together. We did already put the bolt in the back there, so I just need to tighten one more bolt down there. I think we're good. And then I need to weld this. I'm really hopeful that that cutter bar stays good. Should, in theory. So now we're gonna weld this. Move the hydraulic line out of the way. I need to clean all this up. This crack goes back at least to about in here. So we'll clean all that up, and I think it stops right there. There's nothing on the bottom that I seen. Everything looks good there. But regardless, I don't want that to get bigger, and there's nothing on this side. So I'll get all that cleaned up to where it's bare metal, that we can get a good weld on there. There you can get a much better look at the crack. It's pretty bad. Definitely not my best work. Not at all. But it's gonna work for what I need it to do. I need to get some paint. Yeah, you can tell the old paint is very faded. I don't really care about looks at this point. It's more so operation and doing the job properly for me. That's all I care about. There we go. The Haybine should be fixed. Should be. Hopefully we should be good to go at this point. We got the new cutter bar installed. We got a new bolt over there on that bracket, and we got this welded up and painted. Again, this crack wasn't the whole way through, so it probably wouldn't have done anything, but it probably would have gotten worse. So I just wanted to take care of that before it did get worse. So the only thing that should be left to do is go over the machine, grease everything, double check, probably oil our chain a little bit here. Otherwise, we should be able to go cut. And they had some rain today. We had some rain today. Next week, completely dry, warm weather, sunny. So next week is the week to cut. So I wanted to have this thing done. I think we're good to go. I think we're ready for that. Next video, you will see us using this to cut hay, and hopefully we don't have any problems with it. As always, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time.